Well, greetings, everybody. Greetings to those joining from far away. I see Darren from Nashville's here. Hi, Darren. And thanks for those who were here last week. And apologies to those who weren't able to get in the door last week. This week, we have plenty of room. So everybody should be able to be accommodated this week. This week, the theme is awareness. And I'll just speak briefly to the theme before I begin to lead the meditation. Awareness is a very, very big theme in transformational work because without awareness, we go nowhere. We really have to be aware of what's happening now if we're going to change anything. And so really the big part about awareness and why it's such an important theme in this work is because it is this important starting place. And it's also a great yardstick as we go through and become more aware. Awareness is also something that's a little bit misunderstood. So I just want to clarify some misconceptions. Some people think being aware is what we see going on around us. And oftentimes our awareness is really, we see something and then we have a little story about it. So if we're walking down the road and we see a beautiful tree or a beautiful sunset, immediately our mind kicks in and we start thinking about all the other beautiful sunsets and whether this is better than the last one and so on and so forth. Or we may be worried about that tree might die one day and, oh, it's such a beautiful tree. So all kinds of little things happen like that. And there's another kind of awareness, and that's what we call present-centered awareness, which is like really being right here, right now. Now, unfortunately, in meditation, some people try very hard to get to present-centered awareness. They try to get to that place of empty mind, and because of the trying, it becomes really difficult. And I've heard so many people say, oh, I can't meditate because I can't blank my mind. Well, you don't have to. It's really not about that. And this is why awareness, again, is an important theme, because in awareness, what I'm inviting you to do, and I will be during the meditation, is to simply be present to what is, just to be here now with whatever is happening. So I'll be guiding it that way. And I may also be guiding some contrasts. And I invite you with the contrast, not to compare, but to accept both, to allow both, to be aware of both. Whatever is happening. It might be more than two things that are happening at once, but just make room for them all. Right? And that way, by the end of the meditation, hopefully you'll be a little more aware of what was happening for you. And even if you notice your mind going crazy, noticing that is better than not noticing that. Okay. So just being aware of what's happening. So let's get a comfortable meditation position. And this is usually a seated position, but if you prefer to lie on the floor or you prefer to stand even, that's okay too. Meditation doesn't have to be seated, but if you're seated, that's usually a normal position. You can be on a chair or on the floor and make yourself comfortable. You don't have to be in lotus position or anything like that. But if you can, let your back be a little elongated, not strained. No effort needed, just a soft lengthening. And also your head just floating up above your neck and shoulders without any need to be forceful with it. Let your shoulders just be soft as well. And your arms and your hands, just let your hands find a place where they feel comfortable, maybe palms turned upwards. And feel your seat. Feel the seat underneath you. And if it feels okay for you to lightly close your eyes, or just gaze down at the floor in front of you if closing your eyes doesn't work. And then take a deep breath. Just take a breath and let it be. And don't feel like you have to force the breath. Just simply allow the breath. Allow the breath in, allow the breath out, and notice it. But also notice the support from underneath, the seat on the floor, the legs, whatever's supporting you, your feet maybe. Feel that support. Feel that support just rising up to keep you here, to hold you here. And as you breathe, noticing your breath. And we'll begin with the breath as the first point of focus for awareness. So aware of the breath coming, aware of the breath going, without making it any different. No need to fix it, no need to change it, no need to do anything with it. Just simply noticing the breath coming and going. I'm aware of breathing in. I'm aware of breathing out. And there's no need to change the breath, no need to make it any different, just to let it be there. This breath here now. And you may be aware of the shortness of the breath, or you may be aware of the length of the breath. And either are okay. Just accept and be with and notice the shortness of the breath or the length of the breath. And as you breathe, you probably notice a point of connection with breath and body. Somewhere there's a sensation of breathing, a body sensation connected with breathing. Somewhere on the cycle of the breath and somewhere in the body. It doesn't have to be anywhere in particular. Maybe the nose, maybe the chest, maybe the back of the throat. It could be anywhere. Just notice where you feel the breath in your body as you breathe. And you don't have to change it, fix it, or do anything with it. Just simply notice. Notice the sensation and be with the sensation. Just being with the sensation of breathing. And as you breathe, you may notice there are parts of the breath where the breath simply flows. Notice that if it's there. You may also notice parts of the breath where there's a little hesitation. If that's there, just notice that too. Make room for both. Make room for the parts of the breath that flow. Make room for the parts of the breath where there's hesitation. Notice any tendency to judge, and if there is, just notice that too. But if possible, just be with both the flow, where the breath flows, and the other little places where there's a little hesitation perhaps. Letting them both be there. Then bring the awareness to that part of the breath where it turns the corner at the top of the breath, at the top of the inhale. There's a little pause before the breath turns the corner to go out again. No need to make that pause any longer or shorter. Just simply be with it when it happens. Feel it, get to know it. Dwell in that little pause for as long as it's there without needing to extend it or shorten it. That same little pause or similar pause is at the bottom of the breath before the breath begins its journey back in. Notice that one too. And just engaging the whole cycle of the breath the flow in, the flow out, the pause at each end. And however the quality of the breath is experienced right now, just being with it, without the need to judge it or fix it. Just being with the breath. Noticing where the breath flows and any hesitation, being with both. Then extend the awareness into the body, staying with the breath, but also feeling, sensing whole body, whole body. And letting your awareness extend to any body sensations that may be experienced as pleasant, soft, easy. But also any body sensations that may be not pleasant, hard, not so easy. And give attention to both. And if there's any sensation that really gets your attention, just go be with it without any need to fix it or change it. Just be with it. Might be an itch or a twitch or some other sensation somewhere in the body. And just visit with it for a while without needing to do anything with it or to change it. Just being with it. Get to know it. And notice if there's any shift all of its own. If it changes on its own, go with that change. Just notice it. But nothing you have to do, nothing you have to fix. If you get pulled away by a thought, thinking mind, just notice that too. You can make the choice not to get on the thinking train. So just catch that thought, say hello to it, and then come back to the body, back to the breath, back to here. And even if the mind is really busy, just notice that. And then without any force or concern, just return to the breath softly. And checking into the body for any feeling state that might be there. Maybe pleasant, maybe unpleasant. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, just visit with it. Might be neutral. That's okay too. Just become aware of the predominant feeling state right now. And be with it as it changes, as you focus on it, as you allow it. Whatever's there, just holding it gently. Just as you might hold a baby, a soft and gentle hold to just welcome and say hello to whatever's here. And now for the next minute or so, let's sit in silence and just continue the practice of allowing whatever's arising, whatever feeling, sensation, whatever it is arising. Just let it be there with a little bit of curiosity to get to know it, to allow it, to hold it gently, whatever arises. And let your left hand come up somewhere into the center of your chest and find a soft spot there. There's usually a spot that just says yes, a soft place. Just connect there with your body, with your hand, with your breath. And as you tune in, I invite you to inquire from your body, not from your thinking mind, but from your beingness, your felt sense right now, your felt sense of yourself in this moment, right here, right now. And any insight or awareness that is present now in this moment. What is here? What am I aware of right now? It might be a feeling state, a word, a sense of self, whatever. Might be an image or a sound. Whatever's there, just notice it. Allow it. Let it be there in awareness and receive it. And let your hand come slowly back down. Take another breath or two. Just being here, allowing, being. May you be served from this practice. May you be free of suffering. May you find peace. May you take care of yourself happily. And may all beings find freedom from suffering. May all beings find peace. May all beings take care of themselves happily. And I thank you for allowing me to serve you with this practice today. And I'm going to stay on for a few moments to answer any questions. Also, be very happy if you wanted to share what you received from the meditation at the end. If you'd like to put a couple of words in the chat that describe that, that would be helpful to others perhaps. And also, any questions that you have, just type in the chat. Anything about awareness in your life, anything about how to engage this practice, or anything else that you might wish to ask. I invite you to, as much as you can each day, stay in awareness or come to awareness occasionally. Come to that present-centered awareness, being aware of what's happening now in the moment. And I'm sure it will serve you. So we're having people share in the chat. Things like peace comes up quite a bit. Someone said they went very deeply in the practice. Felt pain and strain in my left hand. I wonder what it means. Yeah, sometimes we're going to get sensations or images, or you may get, someone said they had a few flashbacks. You may become more aware of thoughts and feelings. And the way to be with this is to give it some room, give it some breathing room. Our body is a great vehicle for awareness and understanding. And when we give it the time, really what you're doing here is you're just being present without all the fluctuations of the mind running your life, without having to be somewhere else, without having to have a narrative or a story about something. You're just being with yourself. And you'll be aware. If you're holding tension, you'll notice tension, right? But if you give that tension your attention, it will change. Oftentimes, the things that bother us just need some attention, right? So if we give some attention to whatever's here, it will usually transform itself. Make space for polarities in the body. Yes, we have different experiences. We have ups, we have downs, we have pleasant, we have unpleasant. All part of the ride, all part of being human. And so being present to all of that is really a great way to begin the journey of transforming that. Someone said, I feel a weight of worry lifted off my shoulders. Appreciate the body breath approach. It's always helpful to mention the narrative and how quickly we can get into thinking and out of our breath and out of being present. Yeah. Healing and revealing has a wisdom of its own. Yeah. Our whole being has a lot of wisdom. And oftentimes I love to do that at the end of a meditation. In fact, that's how I set my intention for the day. I usually do my practice, and I usually walk, and then I do yoga and I meditate. I do quite a few things. And then at the end of all of that, I'll sit or stand for a few moments. I'll put my hand on my chest, and I'll just ask my body to share its wisdom. And then I'll say, given this wisdom, how do I want to show up in life today? What really matters? What matters for me today? And oftentimes I'll get a very good clue about how I want to show up and how I want to be, particularly how I want to be. Oftentimes we get the calendar out and say, what have I got to do? Well, I like to start before I even get to that stage of saying, how do I want to be with all the stuff I got to do, right? And that beingness, that sense of beingness comes from the inside. The word my wise self shared with me is perseverance. Yeah, sometimes we got to persevere a little, be with it. So someone says, went so deep it felt like sleep. Well, probably your body's saying to you, this is what I need, right? Maybe it's time to take a nap if your body's saying it's time to go to sleep. And don't worry if you go to sleep in meditation. There's always some more time to meditate later when you wake up. If you go to sleep, that's great. That's probably what you need. Yeah. Someone said they made space for fear. That is beautiful. I'm so pleased to hear that. If you can embrace your fear, it will loosen its grip. If you fight your fear, it will hang on like crazy. So where there's fear, find a way to soften around it, find a way to hold it, because the parts of us that are afraid need our compassion, need our love. Someone said, I found myself in a fetal position, like I just need to take care of myself. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Hold that fetal position. Ask your body what it needs. Ask you what you need. What kind of loving compassion do you need? How can you be with yourself in that way? Yeah. I'm with my dad, and he has Alzheimer's, and he got very calm. Beautiful. Oftentimes things are transmitted in ways other than through our thinking mind. We can feel and sense presence without even needing to think. And another saying here from Don, if I don't transform it, I transmit it. So true, huh? Whatever's bothering us, it's probably going to bother someone else, because when we're bothered, we're going to be a pain to be around. It's so true. Okay, so I think that's just about it for this week. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. I really hope to see you here next week. And until then, be well, take care of yourself, and I look forward to next week. Our theme is acceptance. So look forward to that. Thank you.